physical. Bekmerkoza. Okay, I'm going to start this again. Bekmerzova of Russia fell victim to her in the quarterfinal, and she knocked out Alessia Pizzini of Italy in the 16, and then Soline Mbim of France in the 32. And when she was facing Pizzini of Italy, she looks compact, but she is very, very strong.
Well, and you know, Hong Kong has really come up.
Oh yeah,
lately.
yeah, and across, well, especially in foil and épée, and you know, and they are not strangers when it comes to saber either.
Yeah, well, Hong Kong has really been developing their fencing programs aggressively. They've been bringing in coaches from other countries. A lot
Singapore
of
is doing the same thing.
Yeah, Singapore is too. I was talking to one of the Singapore coaches today from Eastern Europe.
Fikrat Baliev of Azerbaijan, our referee for this match. And Kenichi Sasada of Japan, our video referee. Are we going to get non-combativity in our first period of this match as well?
Well, you know, they're touching blades. They're hitting blades. So, you know, if you're hitting the blades and you're making some feint motions, you're not as likely to get a non-combativity call. It doesn't mean it won't happen. But, you know, if it looks like you're trying to set up something, then the referee's not going to call it.
No,
but
this is non-combativity.
Now it's, you know, it's getting a little lighter.
Well, just as it gets to 1 minute, Shea trying to force one through, and they're going to have to finish this one out.
I can't exactly see from here. The girl, so Hassan from Hong Kong is fencing a pistol grip. It looks to me like Muradova is fencing a French grip, but she's holding it all the way up against the bell in sort of the classical style.
Right.
Now, again, if she wants to post and get a couple extra inches there, she can, but she can't do it during the action. She'd have to do it between. She'd have to change her, just like it looked like she was going to do it right there. But she may change position so she gets a little extra distance. If you can do that and think about it while you're fencing, it's a remarkably effective move.
Lovely move there from Muradova. Just reaches in with the touch to the leg.
Yeah, hit the knee. Well, you get hit on the kneecap hard with an épée. It can hurt sometimes. That patella.
Bring tears to your eyes.
I have some scars on my shins from épée.
From falling off your bike.
Yeah. Well, and you know, your legs below the knee are less protected than the rest of your body because you have a cotton sock there, but you don't have the ballistic nylon that you have on the rest of your body.
Right.
A good hard toe touch can hurt too.
She goes for that hit to the leg in the low line, and Shea is quick to it this time.
Got picked off. And of course, these girls are fencing with FIE rated equipment, which is at the highest level of safety standard. And the masks are checked for puncture resistance. And the jackets are checked. The breeches are checked, and there's also something called a plastron that you wear underneath always when you fence, which is a sort of a half underarm protector. So it's sort of like a half shirt.
It has no seam.
The other thing is that epes are manufactured as are the other weapons as what's called miraging steel. So if they were to break, which sometimes happens, they break evenly. They actually align the metal at a molecular level so that it breaks evenly, so it's less dangerous. It's not a jagged edge.
Well, this has gotten a little. I don't want to be unkind, but a little loose here. A double should finish us in the first period.
We talk a lot about safety here in fencing. Now they're at the 1 minute break for the first to the second period. But, you know, fencing's a very safe sport. So if you're looking at fencing and seeing these people out here fencing with swords, I've even seen on the commentary one comment someone asked if the swords are sharp. No, they're not. They're not sharp. They're not pointed. They have a blunt end, and they have in epee they have a little plunger that has to plunge to 750 grams to make a contact to constitute an actual touch, which sets off the lights and the buzzers. Fencing, statistically, of all the Olympic sports, is one of the safer sports. I've seen the numbers, and it's statistically safer than badminton and golf.
Well, is golf really a sport, though? That's the question.
Well, according to the Olympics, it is.
All right, our 1 minute period of rest and recuperation and consultation with coaches.
There have been some strange Olympic sports.
It's come to an end. We start our second period, a 1 point margin, and you know, at this point they both seem evenly matched, but I think whoever wins here might have a difficult time with the very disciplined approach of an Emily Vermeulen.
Right. But you know, these girls are all about the same height. A lot of times you see some interesting height differences, both in the cadets and in epee. A lot of epees are tall. But these girls standing there when they were introduced looked pretty even. Another touch for the girl from Hong Kong. They're holding their own very well. Of course, the top level cadets here at the Junior Cadet World Championships will qualify for the Youth Olympic Games in Argentina this October. And those,
which is a great honor.
Yes, it's a real Olympic Games, and they'll be announced on the 25th.
Well, on that exchange, Fikret Valiev, they came very, very close in and were sort of flailing about, and he let it go on for a while, and I think he was about to separate them, but he let the hit stand.
And that's a little more common in epee. Epee referees are notoriously accommodating to infighting and getting in close. I mean, I've seen many calls that you would think would be called to stop because they're actually really in close, but they let it go.
As long as you can wield your weapon, then technically it's allowed. Second time Radova has been able to work her way in just into distance, and then a very quick direct shot to the shoulder. And it's not enough to give her a lead, but it is keeping her in the match.
Muradova is the only left-handed fencer out of the 4 finalists here, which is interesting. Left-handed fencers have, some will tell you, a little bit of an advantage.
Shea taking the blade as she steps in, and it returns the favor.
Well, and that kind of an outside 6 move, which is the hand position, is and the quadrant of the chest hidden is typical to use against a.
Well, now it's Shea gone off the piece, face down, and they might want to bring out a mop and dry it off.
Well, it's a narrow edge there. You know, they've been fencing all day. There's another point for Hassan. If they've been fencing all day on strips that if you run off of it, it's flat. Now they're fencing on a strip where if you go off the edge, you go off the edge and down.
Shea was trying a beat attack there, and one step back from Muradova, and it went the other way.
Well, Muradova's pushing now because she has to. So we've got 15 seconds left in the second round, and she's down by 3 points. You know, there's a psychological factor when you hit double digits. So right there, Hasay's hit at 10 points, and then you feel the pressure, the psychological pressure that I have to really push and catch up.
Well, that, I believe, will do it for our second period. 10-6 the lead for Kaylin Shea of Hong Kong, and Muradova's going to have her work cut out for her when we come back for our third and final period. Right. But stylistically, our first semifinal,
a little cleaner.
It was cleaner. It was crisper, and this has been a little bit of a scrap. And I would imagine that when Muradova comes out, she's going to have to put the pedal to the metal and just see if she can fight her way into the gold medal match.
Right. Well, her coach is giving her some advice about what to do with a 4-point deficit that will be most effective, because she doesn't want double touches. You know, and Hasay, that if she only got double touches the rest of the match, she'd be happy because she would win. So there's not a big incentive to push too hard, because you let the person come in and you try to hit them as they hit you, and you stay ahead. And as you see, sometimes if you try something where you're being aggressive, in that case, that was kind of a bad plan for Hasay, because it didn't work. She just essentially is defensive and waits, puts her arm out.
Okay, well, Muradova, even though she's got a world of time here, just as Shea didn't necessarily need to initiate that attack, Muradova didn't need to rush in. And again, stepping into distance.
Very well timed.
Yeah.
Nice timing, and that's exactly what she wants to do. She can wait. She has the comfortable lead that allows her to wait and see the opening and set something up. She doesn't have to rush, whereas that's not a luxury that Muradova has right now.
Well, if Muradova keeps rushing and shipping points like she's doing right now, then it will be a problem that she soon doesn't have.
Correct.
You know, she needs to be picking up one hit at a time. She's got a lot of time. Planning her attacks, building them. She's putting herself at risk here, and And now it's going to be a bronze medal.
And in case you're wondering, that the sort of cream-colored end zone there, she can go back in that to where just the tip of one toe is in it, and she's still legally on the strip. If she goes behind it, she'll lose a point. But now she wins.
Double does it, 15-10. Kaylin Shea of Hong Kong will go into the gold medal match to face Emily Vermeulen, and it is bronze for Tamila Murdova.
And it will be USA versus Hong Kong in the women's cadet finals of the Junior and Cadet World Championships here in Verona, Italy. Now we're on to the introduction of the 4 semifinalists in cadet men's épée.
Well, they're going to
see them here
clear the piste first. And this, this is going to be a completely different dynamic is going to be at play when we get the
boys are typically more aggressive in épée.
Well, I'm talking about politically and geopolitically, and we're going to hear